I'd like to welcome you all to joining us. And with me, Eric Walsh is here with me right now. And so happy to see you here today.
Yes, love and
Always a
blessings.
pleasure to see you again.
Yes. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's all good.
Yes, well, it's everybody's so busy these days, and I think it's important to help people get in touch with who they are and how they want to roll in their lives. And even myself this week has been a very different one because I've been having tech problems and even banking problems like transactions that happened that I didn't do. So I
Mm.
just came back from the bank after they fixed the issue because there were a series of transactions and I didn't do a couple of them. So,
Uh,
so all these things add to the fun of life, right?
oh, for real.
So Eric here is one cell energetics is his specialty. That's he founded that healing modality. Uses a whole bunch of different things he's picked up over the years to help people, as well as he is the singer for Intent Reggae Band. And there's some history on that with Tom Cruise, a little bit, anyways, with Eric. So Eric, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would.
Okay. Well, basically, I wear many hats. That's the way to go about it. Um, I I do martial arts. I'm a singer, songwriter, composer, right? An energy worker, musician. I basically, I'm a lead singer for my band, Intent. Work with a couple other people as well, but that's my main focus.
Yeah, you've been on the show before. I should introduce myself too. I'm Michele Ho Lung. I am the Real Sparkle Diva, standing for Radiant Empowered Aligned Leaders. I guess the reason I started this show is to help people because I have this thing I like to call sparkle that is one of the driving things I want to get out to the world. And that's just something that is within, it's a calling to help people to be better, do better, and do the best they can with what they have, and help them to see a path. So this show is to share nuggets of wisdom and have people who can, I feel, share their wisdom with whoever is watching. And one of the things is, if you are willing to look at things in a bigger, different way, then I think amazing things are possible for you through this show. Would you agree, Eric?
Oh, definitely. And again, be like water, be like water. It takes a path of least resistance all the time. If you block the bottom, it'll go over the top. If you block the top, it'll go over on the bottom. You know what I mean? It'll
Right.
always find a way.
Yeah, Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee. I mean, he's such an example for everyone to go after what it is you want to do, that you know you can do, and just put in the effort and keep on moving forward, no matter what.
Yeah, well, no matter what you're working on, I think one of the most important factor, right, within the scheme of things is consistency. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people get tired, people get burnt out, people get dismayed or discouraged for whatever reasons, you know. But if you're consistent and you keep working at whatever it is you choose to do, it'll come true for you. You only get out what you put in, so can't go wrong.
Right. So for
You know,
people who are first time on the show, what is Sparkle all about? And it is this thing, it's an energy, like Eric mentioned, you mentioned that you do energy work. Well, that's pretty much what Sparkle is. It's energy work, with a little bit of a difference in how it plays out, I think. And you had an experience with Sparkle a little while ago, Eric. What was that experience? The
it was
first time,
different.
the first time I worked on you?
Well, the situation that was being worked on, after the work was done, there was way more clarity on it, which is very important. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a calm and relaxed feeling.
So the thing we want to get to is clarity. And the interesting thing is all the episodes, I think every single episode I've had so far, it's around clarity that people are asking for, the intentions of the sparkle session in the middle of this show, which is to have a better idea of where it is you're heading, and whether it has to do with a personal issue, a work issue, a relationship issue, a financial issue. It's all about that
Life
clarity.
issue, life
Life
issues.
issue, right? It's all about that clarity to be able to get through this muddle, whether it's grief too, because that can get you where you just don't know where you're going. And what I found with when I work on people is the biggest thing people get from that is this clarity of thinking. They get the other things, maybe physical, maybe mental, emotional help, but they get the clarity of the thinking, the clarity of the mind, the space. I don't know if that does that ring. Is that kind of, am I describing accurately what you recall you felt?
In regard to the experience, yes, definitely.
Because it's that kind of almost like it's like opening up, releasing a space where you can actually know what you're thinking, even to have the actual thoughts and not the panic. The panic gets away, gets released, or the emotion, and then in there, your actual thinking can come back in, or your actual what it is you want to get or do, the things you actually really need to do. It just settles out and it comes in. I don't know if I'm describing that properly, but
Well, what are some of the reasons that people panic?
big one is financial, right? Thinking about bills to pay. The next
Yeah,
one could be a health diagnosis from the doctor.
I think one of the biggest one is control.
Control of what?
Everything. Control of your life, control of your business, your family.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And when I say control of your family, I'm not talking about like you gotta do as I say and nothing else kind of thing. Right? I'm talking about expansion, but knowing that, well, especially for me, right? Being the head of the household, so to speak, right? I'm the eldest one. Everybody kind of comes to me for direction and, we reason. I'm not saying to dominate when I say control. To dominate someone is totally different from being in control, you know? And I think the ultimate, as we say, control is control over myself, you know?
Okay, so I call that being the CEO of you,
Well, there you go. You
because
already, you already coined it.
in my mind, what that is no matter what is going on around, no matter whether it's a physical, emotional, mental, it's something that's just heartrending or catastrophic. You're able to think clearly without the emotional pulls and tugs of the I need to do, I should, I could have, why, and the beating up of self. It is where it's not a reactive thing. It's where you are not pulled either way. You're just able to see what's going on around you. And from there, knowing all with all the skills and knowledge and expertise you have, also assessing what's going on around in and about you, you are able then to just very objectively go through that systematically, or not, by intuition also, because that allows the intuition to your higher knowing to work. if you're not reacting and responding in an emotional way. Being the CEO of you allows you to then just look at it just and from free will without any tugs, just decide what to do, what action needs to be taken, and to respond accordingly in a very effective way.
Agreed. I think the whole premise on that is not to freak out when the challenges show up. You know what I mean? Because they're
Yeah,
always gonna show up.
right. Because
You
the
know.
freaking out is what is that. Actually, it's not even freaking out because I've seen people with road rage. That's a good example because the person could be as amiable as your grandma, right? Just having a beautiful conversation and something happens on the road and it's like that person transforms into something that you didn't think or know resided in that person. And
Yeah.
that is
Well,
not even
you never.
it's not even freaking out. It's just a reaction. They're not even they may not even be aware they're going through it. They may not even
I, I would call that freaking out. I mean, you know what I mean?
well,
Because
freaking out is when to me is
when
when you know you're freaking when you know you're reacting in a way that way. But
no,
they
but you never know that you're really freaking out. Somebody have to bring it to your attention. It's like, hey, calm down. What the heck you doing?
well,
I'm just saying, if you know, being everyone should be the CEO of their own life because at the end of the day, it's how you handle whatever being presented to you. You know what I mean? You no matter what's going on in your personal life, you still have to be professional and conduct your business accordingly, and not bring over that energy to your client or your customers, blah blah, whatever you're doing.
or your family.
Yeah, or your family, because they they used to be the one who suffer the most. Because
It
you know what I mean?
you know the thing that gets you moving most, I think, actually finds the worst and the best in you is family. Because the genetics, the patterns, the habits, the habitual responses, the triggers, all of that, it's a lifetime that it's been building, right? When you have family, and it's just it could that just be a and it triggers something because it's hardwired in you, right?
Well, let me tell you something. If you really want to know you who you are, just have some children. They'll find all the buttons to push.
I think you have a few, right?
Hey, I do. I do. You
uh,
know, but I'm just saying, like, your kids, they're gonna bring out everything in you, right? That you have presented to them. And then a lot of times you're not gonna like some of the stuff that you see. It's like, what the heck is this, you know?
yeah. So the thing I was gonna talk about today, and I had mentioned it in the things we posted, but I had some technical issues. Those came up. So consequently, I'm gonna postpone the tour of the art Step into Sparkle art exhibition until the next time or another time because things were just not working properly on my computer. Sounds a bit lame, but it's the truth, and anybody who knows tech knows that those things happen. But what I was thinking when I was considering decided to do that today was that if we want to be in control of ourselves, if we want to have more clarity, sometimes the environment around us, not just people, but or yourself and what it is you're telling yourself or how it is you speak to yourself and speak to your others and how you relate to other people. What is also important is your environment, your surroundings, your physical, how you set up your space, how you set up your home, your office, your bedroom, everything around how you maneuver in your day because there's an experiment you can do and there's lots of books on it, about decluttering. Another way too is besides decluttering is putting things around that do something for you. And my thing that I do is I put art around me because my art has energy, believe it or not. And I also have crystals because crystals carry energy. And crystals, if you know how to clear them and you know how to how to connect with them, or even if you don't know how to connect with them, but you clear them in the way that's suggested, even though you don't know what you're doing, it can make your space a lot nicer to be in. It actually can change the feeling of your bedroom, your office, your home, just because you move things around or you bring new things in that help to shift the energy in your space. I don't know if you can talk anything about that, Eric.
Well, personally, from my experience, music does all of that for me. It brings in the right frequency, the right vibration, and the right energy depending on what I'm playing. You know what I mean? So my tuning up is already from there, you
Hmm.
know, because the music does set the mood. You know what I mean?
That's a really good point. But I believe in the power of the and the and the and. So I use music as well, right? I play music, I play all sorts of music. Depending on what my mood is and what I need it to do, I will play different kinds of music and different songs. But the other thing too is, in addition to that, there
Well,
we have the visual as well, right?
yeah.
Depending on how
Well,
you roll too, whether you're auditory, kinesthetic, whether you have that sense of energy as well.
yeah. Well, it shows up for you how you have your perception set up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you resonate and vibrate with, like you say, some people hear things, some people see things, some people feel things. So whichever way it shows up, first accept that and then translate it to whatever is required for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I utilize the music in a lot of different way. I do tai chi with the music, which
Okay.
takes it to a deeper level, you know. um I don't know, this the time mantis, the staff is one of my favorite things, as you know. You saw me playing with it there.
Yeah, one of these shows we can actually show that video of how you use the staff when my computer is working.
Okay.
The
Okay.
problem I have right now is my computer VLC is playing in the background and I can't see it on the computer, so I can't show it here, which is why I can't do the virtual tour. And
Okay.
Jeremy Gall, who is my CTO, well, he's tied up right tonight, so he is AWOL, but he's doing something really important. So uh, by hopefully we will get your staff video on so people can also learn how to balance and coordinate, and I think it helps with the health too, right? And the flexibility and the
Yeah, and
coordination.
and and also the five stick. We never do the five stick.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
The I gotta say, you say five or physio stick. It's made basically from the golden mean ratio with the Fibonacci sequences.
Okay.
It was created by Rob Moses and David Carradine.
Oh really?
Yeah. So it basically takes you in any given direction and give you equal distribution of weight anywhere you go. There's no wrong way to do it, so to speak. You just gotta flow with it,
And
making figure it,
what does using that stick do?
it energizes you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Without the stick, I can do something that's called like sticky hands, right? And I can get my body lit in less than 3 minutes, just like that. Like some of the stuff, like, wow, Moses is amazing, dude. That's all I can say. But he showed us this thing where you have a candle, right, sitting in the center of two phone books, and taking the chi, the energy, and making the light from the candle flicker at on whichever side you're pushing the energy. I mean, just as a demonstration to show that the energy is really real,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, they don't see that.
Well, you have to, a lot of people, like I never used to feel energy years ago. I mean, probably I would say 15. If you told me, I'd say, go away, leave me alone. I was a skeptic. I was also not open to it, right? So that's what I said. I understand if you're a skeptic because I was one of them until I had my skiing accident and then I went looking because I didn't want to have arthroscopy. So I healed my knee by myself energetically, right? So, but you know, if you're open to learning how to feel and sense energy, it's very possible you can do that because if you have a crystal, I don't have one here right now. Oh, well, I do. If you have a crystal handy and you place it in front and you have someone who can move the energy, like if I had your hand here, I could actually concentrate the energy, if you will, focus energy so you would be able to feel it in your hand and feel it more as you moved your hand higher and higher and higher above the crystal. Like that is possible, right?
Yeah, well,
If you're open and wanting to see if you can sense energy. Because everybody can, it's just you're not necessarily open to the concept of it.
well, it's not so much just the concept, but the awareness, because everybody feels energy. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's not one person on this planet who hasn't felt the wind blow across their face or their back or their hair or something. That's energy.
Yeah, it is energy, but there's a wind blowing. So,
But that's exactly my point. So energy is that wind blowing all the time. You know what I mean? Come on. When if somebody says something to you that triggers you, right? That's energy. How you react, that's energy. It's just a matter of how we
well, I
perceive
have
it.
I have a better way of describing and the how you everyone feels energy because I would suggest that everybody has, if you're a certain age, you've walked into a room and all of a sudden you look around and you walk out because you felt something that you didn't like in the room. Maybe it was people staring at you in a certain way, but they weren't saying anything. That's energy. You could feel the danger in the room and you left, you turned around and walked away. Or you could feel it wasn't safe or just something didn't feel right. Or you go into a meeting and you know you're in for trouble because you can feel it in the air, right? That is feeling energy. When you have a sense before you eat, anybody opens their mouth or does anything, you just have a sense of having that your all your the hairs on the back of your neck stand up or you just have this uneasy feeling and you want to run, right? That to me is everybody. I can tell you, I feel everybody has that something to share about that,
Well,
you know.
if you want to take it a little deeper, right? Feeling energy started in the womb. You know what I mean? Every conversation that my dad had with my mom, all of that information and energy was fed to me. And not just me. As long as you came in like I did. You know what I mean? If you're in the womb, then everything that the mom goes through and process, the child is feeling the same thing.
Well, that is true. Like my daughter, she came out of the womb knowing how to play the piano pretty much because she was surrounded by piano, right? She's like a prodigy for the piano. Um, she went to every single music class, piano class that my two older kids went to. And then she went to when she was in the womb, and then she was born and she went to every single class that they went to until she was 4. And at 4 years old, my daughter, her bigger sister, showed her how to play hot cross buns on the piano. And by the end of that day, she had every conceivable left hand going with that. And so we took her to her first class the week after that. And they're going do, ducky do, one step, one finger. And I told the teacher, there's no way she can stay in this class. So she went up a year, but they learn in the womb, children do. And they
Hmm.
learn, they're composers who after they're grown up and they know a piece and they don't know how they know it, and then they speak to their mom or whoever was in a symphony orchestra. I can't remember who that composer was, but the mother said, I was playing that while you were in the womb every day. And he
Yeah.
just knew it. He knew it. He knew every part of that composition. So, it boils down to, again, intuition. Some people say, I am not intuitive. I used to say that. I'm not intuitive. I mean, up to when I took my first class energy healing modality class, I was telling people I was not intuitive. And the thing is, have you ever had something, a feeling, and then it happened, right?
I've
And
had experience. I guess I kind of like never had the opportunity to say that because my grandma was a healer.
mm,
You know what I mean? So I kind of grew up seeing so many different unexplained things that brought results and stuff like that. I'm like, Grandma, how did you do that? You know what I mean? And within some of the stuff, she'll say, well, this is not something of herself, but the Holy Spirit direct her and tell her what to do. You know what I mean? I mean, I know for sure that there's no one thing that's an end all to energy work or healing or whatever, people want to label you, want to utilize, you know. And memory, energy has memory too.
yeah, the thing with that is actually the thing that keeps people stuck, is that deep-seated, wired in memory, emotional, usually of a bad sort, negative consequence, where something happened traumatic or not so nice in their earlier years, or they listened to it, or it soaked in somehow. And then that is what all their senses are tuned into. And when something happens, it may not be the same thing, but it triggers a feeling, a reaction, an emotion. And in that, then it can actually become much worse, because it might even lead, if they have not dealt with it, it might lead to a disease state, right? Because emotional trauma, emotional hardship, heartache, all the negative things, those things can build up. And if you don't release it, in my experience, and there's a lot of science and studies out there now that actually prove this, it gets coded into your body parts, and it manifests itself in disease states and in disease conditions and physical, mental, emotional ailments.
There's there's also another depth to it where people with transplanted organs, whether it be brain or heart or whichever part of the body that's been transplanted to that individual, the memory of the previous owner still exists within the organs, right? I mean, You can check it out. The science has proven that people with transplanted, organs are experiencing the same thing that the previous owner used to experience. Like you'll find them, never used to like to play tennis, but they start playing tennis all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Or certain kind of food that they would never eat, they start to eat because of the memory from the organ.
Mm. Well, that's I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The
but
thing,
it's like that.
yeah, the thing about all of this though is that self-awareness. Uh, that to me is the key to everything. If you can become CEO of yourself, what that means is you have to really decide that you want to be so aware of yourself, of what you're thinking, how you're feeling, where you want to go, and what it is that you're doing that might be getting in your way, or how you're thinking. And the what I can say is that I speak for myself. Before I started down this path, I wasn't even aware of the thoughts I had in my head that were rampant. They were just going, and they were just so many thoughts, and I had no idea they were there because you just get used to it. You don't realize it's not you. And my mother used to tell me, Michelle, your thoughts are not you. And I say, Mom, I know what I'm thinking. I have full control of my thinking. No, I know my thoughts are not me, but I have full control over my thoughts. Little did I realize that she was so right, because when I actually started to do the work on me and I became more aware of what was going on in me, in my thoughts, in how I was reacting, in what I was saying without really knowing it, because the mind is going, they say 70,000 to 90,000 words a day.
I mean, the monkey mind.
Yeah. And so how do you even try, how do you even get there? And what that means is most people don't realize what's in their head because you're so used to it. As I said, if you're used to it, you don't even, it's not in your awareness level. It's not in your awareness. You don't even see it, because until you have that sense of what is not normal, or what is normal versus where you want to go, till you have that sense, there's nowhere for you to actually grasp what it is you really need to do. So for that, you kind of need to have, for me, it was my mom telling me what to do, and then I decided to search. And in that doing, I I have to say that my thoughts are not going like that all the time anymore. Sometimes I think I have no thoughts a lot of times,
That's a good thing.
right? And it's because the things that cause the thoughts, it's actually the things that you haven't resolved, that you're working through, that are totally getting you triggered every time something happens and you don't realize you're being triggered. Meaning, I use the word trigger to mean something like somebody's tone of voice or the actual words they say, and you get annoyed, or you get angry, or you get sad, or you
It
you, you feel beaten up, right?
well, it's basically anything that's appealing to the so-called five senses and the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it can be scent, it can be touch, it can be, you know,
Smell.
smell, and it all of them together, and it adds up. And so in this work we do, the work I do in helping people to clear things, you may clear one thing, but there's something else that's almost the same, that has the same kind of nuance to it, but a slightly different one, and that still triggers, maybe not exactly in the same way, but it's still, there's a lingering, right?
Yeah.
It's not a complete clear.
I think basically is that you want to separate what's really happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
sensation, emotion, the reaction, you know. The body, the mind, and the spirit, if all of them are mixed up together and you can't define which is which, then you kind of get confused and don't know where to start, you know. But once you learn to separate them, then you can deal with each component adequately. I mean, I find it like that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I like to do in the work I do is have people focus on what it is they want to do or be or have right now. So it's like you're right there right now. And then compounded when I add that in with the sparkle work that I do, then it's powerful. Right? So, I hope that from this little talk, what we're trying to get across is that first there's a decision that there's something that you want to change. For me, it was I wanted to be in control of me. I wanted to not feel like the world was caving in the middle of the night because I was worried sick about something or feeling bad about something or feeling
Mm.
stressed by work or deadlines, right? I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be able to um to show up the way I wanted to show up and not be thrown off guard by reacting to someone. And in that process, I went on this journey where I learned to clear. And then I found out I had my own gift, which is different from, you know, the other ones I learned. I'll say that much. I learned a lot of them, right?
Well, one thing I learned is a day-to-day process. You know what I mean? There's no end to it because a lot of times you think you're totally in it or you got it, right? And like the moment you kind of like get to that place, you just realize like, oh man, there's something else to explore over here.
Well, we're human, and
But that's the whole thing, expansion.
life changes situations and new situations come up, and it's an ongoing learning process and an ongoing challenge. The challenge and actually the thing I look at is how sure I react, sure I feel bad, sure I feel angry, but fewer and fewer things really get me going anymore. But when I do get going, the question is how fast can I get out of it? And for me, it's actually really fast. Before it used to take me like sometimes weeks to get through things. Now it takes me, maybe an hour, 2 hours, maybe half a day, depending on how bad it is, right? But the question is, when you make a commitment to yourself, how much time do you want to allow yourself? And this goes for everything. This goes for anger. This goes for, um, frustration. It goes for regret. It goes for even trauma. Like, yeah, you can be a victim. And I know for people out there, you might get mad at me, but at some point, where do you want to draw the line and say, I'm going to do something about this by hook or crook? I'm going to find a way. There's things out there that are not cognitive. There are things out there that are not the mainstream. There are things out there that try different, do different, use different tools. There's things out there that, I can go and say, well, that person did it, and therefore I feel justified to do what I'm doing. Or you can go, well, I'm not willing to do that anymore. I want to change it for me, and I'm going to do it faster than anybody else has done it. Like, there's a challenge. There's when do you start to stop being a victim of your life and start to take control and decide, because I tell people this, you can heal yourself. If you have the will to heal yourself, no matter what, as long as you don't buy into all the diagnosis that says you can't, there's a chance you can heal yourself, because I've seen it.
Well, change is the biggest fear, right? But when you're alive and present, you have to evolve and expand. You know what I mean? If you're not evolving and expanding, then it's like basically you're not alive. You know,
Yeah.
you're shutting yourself down, or something is shutting you down.
Yeah. Well, I know there's terrible things that happen to people, right? Just terrible, terrible things that people witness and have done to them and all of that. But, you know, if you have the will to fight and the will to decide that you're going to get through this no matter what, you owe it to yourself, and nobody is going to do anything to you that you're going to let them make your life go on the way it's going on, that you want to take control of your life and be the CEO of you and just do it nicely, be everything, be heart. Because I work with people who are doing it because they want to help people, they want to help themselves, they want to love other people, they want to get through things, they want to have a walk the high path, not the low path in life, which is getting to that self actualization and transcending everything and wanting just help the world, right? That's where I'm at. That's why I do the show. I want to help the world. So if you're there, you can heal yourself. You can will yourself to live. You can will yourself to die. You can will yourself to look and not take in what the doctors, the specialists, the whoever are telling you can't be done. Even the gurus that say, oh, you'll never do this, or your parents who say you'll never be a success, or any of that. If you have the will to push through it and believe in yourself and believe it can be done within you, you get your divine, I like to call it your divine spark, lit up inside, where you supercharge it with so much positivity. And it's hard, right? Especially when you're being beaten up and beaten down. But if you can find that strength within, I feel that it is possible to do anything.
I agree. And I think that strength lies within all of us. You know,
I mean, if you
again,
read all the
it's choices.
biographies, right? The biographies of the people who pull through the most terrible things, somehow they found the strength within. Even Mahatma Gandhi, right? In the prison, how many years and years, and how did he do it? Anybody else, their brain would have gone to mush, but he decided he wasn't going to do that, right? He wasn't going to allow himself to do that. How do you do that? You find that strength within, you know, and it's hard when to see the stuff out there that's happening. But if this show can help someone connect and find the hope and find something within to light up and, you know, get the strength to do something within themselves, to find the courage within, to, you don't have to tell anybody. I mean, one of the things to do too is not let anybody know what you're intending if they're not supportive of you. You keep that to yourself and you support yourself mentally within yourself, because you always want to protect your positivity by keeping what you're trying to do to yourself if you're not going to get the support. If you know you're not getting the support, don't tell the sources that would put you down. Keep it to yourself and go after what you want. If you know someone is going to support you, well, by all means, right?
Well, the good book says if you go to a city and they're not listening, just dust off your shoes and go to the next one. You know what I mean? Because basically, you can't really force change on anyone.
You have to be
Either
the
they're ready or they're not.
no, but
Yeah.
you have to be the change you want to be.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying, for us, giving information to others to empower
Yes.
and encourage and strengthen themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they don't really want it and they're not ready, that's okay. And if they're
Oh, it's
ready,
okay.
it's okay.
It's all in
Yeah,
your own time, right?
yeah,
You know when the
definitely.
time is right.
Hmm.
And you know,
I mean, the world would be a boring place if everybody just eat cheesecake, right?
So anyway, we should. Time is going. We have 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Maybe what we should do is do a quick sparkle,
All right.
like a sparkle.
Sparkle up, sparkle
So
up.
what is it that you want to have as an intention?
A world sparkle. I want the perception and the energy and the frequency of equality and love, understanding, compassion. You know what I mean? And everyone seeing themselves and others for who we really are. You know what I mean? Because if we actually really knew who we really are, I don't think we would think to, want to hate each other or destroy each other
Or hurt someone else?
or hurt someone
Or
else for
take
real.
things from other people?
Mm-hmm.
Or keep, be selfish?
Yes.
There's a lot of that going on right now in the world.
Yeah. Well, if we recognize that the other person is us, right? You don't want to do bad things to yourself, do you?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's a starting point, I think.
Okay. So then let's connect. We're gonna connect to source then, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
just allow the energy from the heavens to come through the crown chakra and go all through your body wherever it needs to go. And allow that energy to go to wherever it needs, nooks and crannies within the body, without all in and around and about the space, your mind, your organs, your tissue, all the cells. Just nourish and purify and cleanse and beautify and energize everything. And just allow that energy to be loving, nurturing, forgiving, and allow it to be healing as well to any part of you that needs help, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. And then just breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings. Invite everything, welcome all good into your life, into your world, into your body, into your soul. And then just allow anything that doesn't belong, that is causing you to be out of sync, out of alignment, not grounded. Just allow anything that's just not serving you to leave through the window, through the door, through the cord at the bottom of your feet, to your very own special crystal at the center of the earth. And these could be beautiful quartz or carnelian or fluorite or rose quartz, any of those beautiful healing crystals, amethyst. Just allow it to go there to be cleansed, grounded with Mother Earth healing energy, knowledge, wisdom. Once it's cleansed, allow it to come back up to the circuit of energy already coursing through your veins and through your body, this cosmic, beautiful healing energy that's from the heavens, and just allow it to go everywhere to energize and nourish you and to fulfill and nurture your very soul in your space, bring you peace and joy, fulfillment, success, clarity, alignment. You get centered in who you are and what you're here to do. Just feel that energy. Just allow. And as we do that, let's send out love to everyone we care about, love all who surround us and are part of our world. And just allow them to also enjoy some sparkle as well. Okay, how is that?
It feels different.
Feels different?
Yeah. And at the same time, right? I'm not the only one feeling this energy. It's everybody on the planet, because that's what this one was all about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone on the planet. You know, we want that God consciousness, or whoever, you know, the person might perceive their higher source to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we stand behind that. We say yes to that.
Well, my hope is that, what I know, that the more of us who do this work, is the more the light will get out, and the awareness that we're all together in this, we're connected, and you know, the world is becoming a brighter place now because the awareness is shifting,
For real.
right? So it's on the hour. I really appreciate you coming on the show at such short notice again. You know, people get busy, and it's good to keep the conversation going. And that's what I want to do with this show, you know,
For
is
real.
keep the conversation going, to maybe have it where people start to realize that this is a nice place to convene and talk. I really appreciate your time. I'm really meaning that.
Give thanks. Love and blessings always.
Yeah, and until the next time, it could be the first Wednesday of next month.
Yes,
That's
yes.
December 6th.
So yeah.
And then on that show, Minda Turner will be talking, and she is amazing with helping people with all sorts of allergies.
Oh, nice.
And she's setting up a foundation, and her intention is beautiful because it's to help young ladies.
All right. I look forward to that.
It's going to be good. Share the links. Anyone who is listening, you know, do share, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let us know what topics you want us to talk on. We kind of rambled today just about a whole bunch of stuff, but I think whatever came out was good. I think we needed to, you know, I come from Jamaica, so personal safety is important to me. You know, what can I say? When we built our house, I told my husband I wanted bulletproof glass. And the builder and my husband laughed at me, and they said, "Do you know where you live? In Canada, we don't even have a lot of guns around, right?" And I said, "Well, I just feel it would be safer." But this is coming from Jamaica. So anyway, that is just my thought on, you know, we have things that happen, and there's a light out there. There are ways you can get yourself through the worst of things. And you know, psychiatrists and psychologists, they're great. There's also energy work that can help as well, without the drugs, without the repetition of the stories that are so terrible. I don't even, you know, people, you don't have to tell me what you are clearing. I don't need it. I don't actually necessarily want to know all the details either, because it might cause me nightmares, and I don't need the details to actually help my clients. Eric, you know
No.
that, right?
Well, same here. I think, you know, we want to remind everyone to utilize the tools that you have, you know what I mean? Because they've been working for centuries and eons, you know? And they say, if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it, right? If that, whatever that antidote or something your grandma used to do, or your grandpa, you know what I mean? And it worked, and it still worked, why not utilize it? You know, you don't need no professional opinion about if this thing is gonna work or not. A lot of us, you know, we grew up with a lot of these things. So I'm just saying, just don't big deal the tools, utilize the tools.
Well, the other thing too is, at the same time, get medical advice to know what's going on, but then choose other options. You don't have to be doing the drugs necessarily.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with medical opinions and stuff like
It
that.
is
But I'm
beautiful.
just saying,
Do
like,
That Part of the And, Built to Last by Poirras and Collins. And that's one of my favorite books that when I read it, I went, this is genius. You know, they talk about don't do this or that, do this and that. If they don't hurt and they don't conflict, and It might take more time, a little bit more time. It might take a little more effort. Just keep on adding it on the ands, right? You can do that and medical, and you can do the energy work, because the energy work doesn't have side effects.
My last word is stick with the results. Stick with the results. If you're getting the results, that's what's required. That's it. End of story.
And then don't buy into diagnosis.
Well, don't buy into anything. I'm saying stick with the results. Whatever is bringing you the results, stick with that. You know, it doesn't matter what anybody say, right? If
if it's working,
you're bringing the results, that's it.
And if you're not finding the results, just look.
Hey.
An open mind and try something different, because if what you're trying and have been going and you've been going there for a while and it's not working, try something else. Why do something that's not working? If you want a different result, you need to try something different if what you're doing is not getting you the results. So I think that's a good point to end that.
Yes. Love and blessings until we do this again.
Too. Okay, Eric, you have
all right, you and everyone.
Okay, good night. Thanks for joining us on the Sparkle Experience Show.
All right, now.
Until we see you again. Bye.
Yes, bye.
Okay, bye.